Hey, what is up, everybody? It's your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to That's a Shoot, a weekly episodic show where I talk about good and bad world of professional wrestling. When I go over to it's called Put Over and Bury. And then we have a main topic for this show. Sometimes things are different, sometimes things are the same. We're gonna change it up this week. I'm just trying something out new with this with Put Over and Bury. I'm just not gonna go by and just talk about this type of put. I'm gonna actually go different. I'm gonna go show by show. I'm gonna go show by show. Something that wanna so I'll go Raw, NXT, AEW, SmackDown, and I'll when I go to the show, I'll put over and then I'll bury. And that's what I do. And I'll see if that's maybe even a more effective way of doing this. So, although programming note, I will not be doing this next week. Next week is a very big week. Um, and other things, a lot of other things are going to be happening. They're going to be going on next week. So, um, we've got season finales, and we've got series finales, and we've got Marvel's Agent of Shield, and we've got so much other stuff that is going on. Um, that I don't know if I'll be able to completely watch NXT and AEW, like it is, and same might go for Raw and SmackDown as well. So I just think next week there will be no put over and bury. There will be a main topic. It will be adjacent to today's main topic, which you guys have already know is the next five WWE champions. So next week will be the next five Universal champions. So um, yeah, that's just a little programming note for everybody. But with that being said, my cat's growling for some reason. But she did not. For some reason, she just growls. She moans and groans and growls all the time. So that being said, let's go ahead and let's jump right into the action, shall we? So now what we do is we're gonna start now with Raw. So what I want to put over from Raw, um, I loved Samoa Joe. I love Samoa Joe sticking up for his partner. What King did with Jim Ross for many years, I loved it. Samoa Joe stuck up for Tom Phillips. I'm pretty sure the reason why they didn't get physical is because Joe still can't get physical, and there's a lot of talk about Joe being his career being over. And if it is over, I think that's unfortunate. That's a shame. That's a shame, unfortunately. But I love Joe getting his stuff out. Um, um, I'm a big fan of the storyline with Montez Ford and passing out. This obviously we now know now, at least we think it was probably done by Retribution, right? It's probably done by Retribution, the new group of ninjas that is different from Akira Tozawa's ninjas, whatever. Um, but but Yeah, so I think that's done in that, but obviously on Monday, Bianca Belair seemed to think that it was done by Garza and Andrade and Zelina Vega. So, but I do like that. I do kind of like that storyline. I liked what they were trying to go for there. So I like that a lot. And Jimmy Burnett. Jimmy Burnett. I like her. I like her. It's really cute chick. And so anytime you get more pretty women on television, it's never been very a bad thing. Never a bad thing. So going to always put over pretty women. Denny Burnett from The Bachelor, apparently. I have no idea. I stopped watching The Bachelor a long time ago. Although I'm probably gonna watch the Black Bachelor season, at least to see what goes on there. See if he selects the right people. Um, and look to see like everything. So Now to bury the stuff on Raw, um, Raw Underground. I'm not sure what this was about. I'm not sure what this was for. I'm not sure what this was meant to be. For me, it is not like it's not like it's not like the brawl fall. It's the brawl fall, but it's scripted. And it's not. I'm not sure what they were thinking when they decided to bring this up. I personally, I had no problem with it as a segment. I just don't see why you needed to even do it. Like it wasn't a bad segment. The segment that happened, it wasn't bad because at the end of the segment was maybe even better because it really put over the Hurt Business as a dominant threat in the Monday Night Raw locker room. But I'm not sure, what that was about, and so whatever. And the last thing I want to bury from Monday Night Raw is, there was a rumor that it was going to be a new faction that was going to debut, and believe me, I before we got the stuff with, figured out it was the thing. I didn't know if the new faction was the Riot Squad or the new faction was. I really was when they showed the people throwing the Molotov cocktails at the things. I thought those were Kiritazawa's ninjas. I didn't know that was going to be the new thing. So I had no clue. I was thinking the new faction was them bringing back the Riot Squad. So it's and I'm not really burying that because they need more women tag teams. They do. They need more women's tag teams, especially with Kyrie saying now. So we're no longer having the what's the names, and we're no longer having the Kabuki Warriors. But yeah, I was like, yo. Who's the new faction? Is it the Riot Squad? No, it's those group of new ninjas. We found out it's Retribution. NXT was a solid show. Nothing nothing extraordinarily good or nothing extraordinarily bad. We didn't have a put over or a bury on. Um, Although I will say again, once again, this Wednesday we had the long things of the new premiere of Big Brother 22 All Stars. So I was trying to watch All Stars along with watching, NXT. So I may have missed something. Um, something that may have been extraordinary. Something might have been extraordinarily good. Something might have been extraordinarily bad. I did see the ending of the Pat McAfee stuff, and Pat McAfee stuff like that. I have no thoughts about that at this point. Uh, Good or bad. I'm gonna let it ride out. And the same goes for AEW. Now what I would normally do is I would probably I would because the way it is, I can watch NXT. I can watch NXT live, and then I can watch AEW on the West Coast version of TNT, just because that's I got because you got Direct TV, so you can watch the AEW Dynamite on the West Coast version at an hour and an hour after NXT goes off, and that's normally what I usually do. So but even with that, still I wasn't still in not into, but I I don't know. AEW still just didn't do it for me enough. I'm still geeked up about it or whatever. But I do have a berry because they announced a subscription service for women who like wrestling, really, and it's like $49.99, um and it's been a whole lot of this trash, and you know and I'm maybe starting to think that maybe AEW is now starting to maybe now, hopefully they're starting to get some backlash for their bullshit. Because that's what this because it's been sunshine and rainbows. For these guys for these past 9 months, but maybe now 10 months, whatever it has been. But maybe now they'll start to get called out on their bullshit a lot more. I've been doing it. Some other people have been doing it, but most people, anything AEW does is gold. And if it's the same thing that WWE does, you know, WWE does the same thing. It's garbage. But if AEW does it, it's gold. It's a bunch of hypocrisy bullshit. But maybe now they're starting to get called out on their bullshit. And this is bullshit. And it's not necessarily the act that they did. The act of trying to want a safe place for women to share their love of professional wrestling is a good thing. Yeah, so they don't have to worry about um, they don't have to worry about criticism from men saying you shouldn't watch women, or obviously the sexual comments, or or any other thing that comes with being a wrestling, or a woman in the wrestling fandom, right? Anything that's bad that comes with it. It sounds all good, but you're making you're making people pay $49.99 for it. No, the WWE Network costs $9.99, but a scene is gonna be $49.99. Fuck off! Fuck off! Really? Fuck off! Hopefully this is the start of AEW getting called out more for their bullshit. And last but not least, SmackDown. Um, for SmackDown, what I want to put over is Stephanie McMahon coming on and announcing the triple branded battle royal to find out who is the number one contender um for Bayley's SmackDown Women's Championship. And this could be an interesting thing. Very, very interesting thing, because it's going to be Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. And this means that you could have all of the world, you could have all of the matchups in the world. You know, there's right now there's really only two people I think that you can think of who have a shot to win. It's Rhea Ripley or it's Naomi, right? Naomi, even though she wasn't on the show, she was on the show tonight, last night. Um, she was, obviously she had that thing a couple weeks ago, and Naomi deserves better, And even though she wasn't on the show this week, I think she still has a little bit of that momentum, especially after beating Lacey Evans last week. Um, so they could, so they could easily put on what's her, give her the spotlight and have her shine for the SummerSlam match against Bayley. Um, but Rhea Ripley, even though she's been down in NXT and things like that, this would be a good shock and surprise to bring Rhea Ripley. I don't know if she still would be NXT if she were doing the Charlotte thing, But if she were to win the Battle Royal and go to face Bayley at SummerSlam, I think that would be an awesome trick as well. So yeah, I think that's cool. I also think what they need to do is also, both of them need to do double duty. Not only do they need to defend their singles titles, they need to defend their their tag titles against somebody. And so I think that's I found that there's a lot of ways they could go. A lot of people that can win it, even though logically it could either be Rhea Ripley or Naomi, but they could go a lot of other different ways as well. Surprise us and you know give us a thing like we thought. Like Dana Brooke was, beat Naomi to make it into the Money in the Bank ladder match. So there's a lot of things they could do here. And I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to see next week. The Barry for SmackDown is Retribution again. I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. I did not like it. They're up there beating people. They're taking chainsaws to the ring, and they are chasing off Michael Cole and Corey Graves and camera people, and they're beating up the NXT fans. And so I don't know. I find this. I don't find anything as of right now. I don't find anything. I don't think this is going to lead to anything. And one of the other things to see, you can find out. You find they're a lot short people. They are shorter in stature, and that doesn't mean anything, but just because the Undisputed Era, for the most part, are shorter guys who are probably under 6 feet tall, you know, or 6 feet at best. Um, but you know, they're still a threat, and if this is the Undisputed Era doing this, then I don't know. Yeah, as many people said last night, this was not the Nexus. This was not the Nexus. This was not NWO. This was not anything. Any type of faction. This may have been the worst faction, one of the worst faction debuts ever. So I don't even know if you call it a debut because of the stuff they did Monday night, but this is not cool. One thing I guess you could say is apparently there's a woman. In it there was some long hair, and they attacked a female performance center trainee who was there as a fan. The woman did, so I think there's a group with a woman. So I think that might be fun. But again, I think this is just me. I think one of the things that they have is they don't know who these people are really. So they just said, let's bring a faction that one of them will be a woman. I mean, do we? I mean, this is like a SmackDown hacker all over again. They just decided to create a faction, but not know who to put in it. So they gave them ninja stuff so that we don't see, so that when they find out people who actually going to be in it, then they actually put them under the thing. Because right now, I don't know what wrestlers would be, what free agents, what new wrestlers, what you know, I don't know. I don't know, but it was just. I'm not gonna bury the group just yet. I'm gonna give the group some time, but I'm gonna bury the way they started off here on SmackDown. Not good. And now for the main topic of this week's episode. Um, the next 5 WWE champions. So right now, Drew McIntyre is the WWE champion as of this recording. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you into the future and how I would and how what I would like to see happen and who and how to become the next 5 WWE champions. What I like to see, okay? So, um, let's start with who's gonna go next next after Drew McIntyre. I think that's Randy Orton. To me, Randy Orton's been the best that he's been in forever, and right now he is hot, and I think that I think you put the title on him. I don't think that's without a doubt. You don't put the title on you put the title on Randy Orton right now. So I think right now Randy Orton at SummerSlam takes out Drew McIntyre and becomes WWE champion. Yeah, I think you know, and then I think what you do is you have to keep Drew McIntyre. You have to probably keep feuding with Drew McIntyre as if there isn't really a lot of top baby faces right now on Raw, or in the company in general, actually. But I think what you can do is, and especially with these no fans crowd, what you can really do is that you can do a lot more heel stuff. You can do a lot more heel stuff with these crowds than you could with full stadiums of fans. So in these performance center things with these PC and people as a crowd, you can do a lot more heel stuff. So you can do Randy Orton and Bobby Lashley. You know you can do Randy Orton. Um, maybe versus um, Andrade, or as long as places you can go with this, for Randy Orton, But I do think you're probably gonna have to probably work with Drew McIntyre for probably another 2 or 3 times after SummerSlam. It's gonna take a long way, I think what you need to do is what probably needs to happen is and I don't think this will happen. I think there's a good chance Randy Orton will win at SummerSlam. Which the way I would do it is I would have Randy Orton hold it, hold the championship until WrestleMania. Because right now, the rumors are they have Randy Orton versus Edge penciled in for WrestleMania 39. It's an I Quit match. It's the rubber match. Each one is one match in this series. So and they're gonna do the I Quit match. And I think that would be the perfect time to do them to have Randy Orton keep the title. Now, what they may do is probably at some point if Randy wins. Now I don't know if Randy. No, they can either one of two things. They can either have Randy win now or have Randy win later. But I think at some point they are going to put the title on Randy Orton. He's just been too hot not to have the title on him. And they can also do Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins too. Um, but so yeah, they can have that happen, and then I think once you do Randy Orton holding the title to WrestleMania, face Edge in that quick match. Obviously, Edge wins. Edge becomes the new heavyweight champion. But because Edge is a part timer, you can't and more or less he's a part timer. He's a babyface. It's one thing to have Brock Lesnar be a part timer who's a heel, be the champion, but to have a part timer who's a babyface be the champion is probably the best thing. So I think what you probably do is you probably quickly take the title off of Edge, and I say you put it on to Seth Rollins. Now before Randy Orton got hot really quick, Seth Rollins had been doing the best heel work in the business, and uh, and he has kind of slowed down just a little bit, but it's still some great. He's still doing great work with his character of the Monday Night Messiah and everything like that. So, and I would still think that he would still be doing it now. And this is perfect too, because probably what's going to happen is Seth Rollins later on this year will have to probably leave for a little bit because Becky Lynch will have had her baby. So I think that's totally perfect. I think Seth Rollins goes off later this year into the next couple of months. Maybe he returns for WrestleMania. Maybe he doesn't. And maybe what you even do is that Edge comes out on Monday Night Raw the night after WrestleMania, and he talks about I'm gonna as champion I'm going to defend it against some of the best the best that this company has to offer. And then all of a sudden, out of the crowd, here comes Seth Rollins. Or the Monday Night Messiah thing here comes Seth Rollins, and now you can, if you want to challenge the best this business has to offer, you can challenge me. And then for Backlash or whatever pay per view is gonna be after WrestleMania, you have Edge versus Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins wins. Seth Rollins wins. Edge goes off because again he's a part timer, and Seth Rollins holds the championship. Now, now he holds it, has a good month, spring and summer run until August when you go to SummerSlam, next year's SummerSlam. And all of this is, I'm saying all of this is going to be happening with fans. I think there could be a possibility that WrestleMania could happen. I don't think it's going to happen with a stadium full of fans, but I think there will be socially distanced fans, and that's a big stadium. SoFi Stadium is a big stadium, so I think, and even though California has been very conservative, I think by March they will be able to allow fans in the stadium. So I think there will be social distance fans for WrestleMania, and fans will be back in stadiums all across the country. So, and I think that by that point we'll be on tour. I think they will be on tour. I think they will be doing stadiums. They probably be doing smaller venues that are big ones, smaller venues. Um, and again, depending on each state and how each state feels, they either will be small crowds, social distance, like at the Performance Center, or it will probably be big stadiums, social distance. So, but unless there's a vaccine that happens, the vaccine, and we know that the vaccine works and it prevents you from getting the coronavirus, um, or whatever. So, um, or it does something to the coronavirus, whatever it may be. Anyway, um, so this, but all this I'm saying is that next year SummerSlam, there will be fans, and there will be fans in the stadium, and they will have a true coronation for Drew McIntyre. Once again, Drew McIntyre champion, Seth Rollins, out where he can get the nation that he deserves, and everything is going to be a fun night, great for Drew. And then and then Drew can finally have that set up on his career reel of him winning the WWE Championship for a second time, having it be in front of, giving him the adulation of the fans that he deserves. And so we've gone from Drew McIntyre to Randy Orton, from Randy Orton to Edge, from Edge to Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins back to Drew McIntyre. So who is the fifth guy? Who is the fifth guy? And I was thinking about this, and there's a lot of people, a lot of ways to think I could go here, you could go here. We got guys, upcoming guys like Keith Lee, maybe Velveteen Dream if he can get his stuff together. Um, a lot of other guys, people like maybe like Adam Cole, or a lot of other guys from NXT, and there's still a lot of other guys on the main roster as well. They can still be, Bobby Lashley could still be. Um, be a WWE champion. Um, but I think you go with Roman Reigns. I think you go with Roman Reigns. Um, and I think the way how you go about it is Drew McIntyre wins at SummerSlam. He holds until WrestleMania. And at WrestleMania, you have um, a triple threat match um, between the WWE champion, the Universal champion, and the Royal Rumble winner. And in my world, I think Roman Reigns becomes the uh, the Universal champion, and it doesn't matter who wins the thing. It doesn't matter who wins the Royal Rumble. and then you go there, have a triple threat match, and you end up with Roman Reigns winning the new and hopefully final undisputed World Wrestling Entertainment Heavyweight Championship of the world. Maybe what you do, maybe go Drew McIntyre, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. Let's do that. Let's do that match. So yeah, and then that's at WrestleMania 30. Would it be 38? Right? Would it be 38? Because this was 36. Yeah, this was 36. Hollywood's will be 37. So that'll be at WrestleMania 38. And we merge the titles all the time. Back and then we have one title for each division, except for the mid card. We still have both the United States and Intercontinental division. So yeah, so there you go. Next 5 world champions, WWE champions: Randy Orton, Edge, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and Roman Reigns. All right, post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about my putovers, and what you guys think about my berries. Let me guys what you think about my main topic: the next 5 WWE champions. And also, let me know how you guys feel about the way I'm now doing the putover and berries. I'm doing it by each show instead of just doing putovers and talking about it and then just doing berries. So let me know how you guys think about that. Which one do you think is for the better? I kind of like this new way where I break down each show one by one instead of just doing putover. Here's the time for here's my putovers and yada yada yada. And here's my berries and yada yada yada. But then I like doing the things by the show time. Yeah, that's just personally me personally. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Go to patreon.com/AJTRIP, become a patron. When I hit a certain amount of patrons, I'm gonna open up the voting and the stuff to where you can start doing things like voting for what I play on Twitch, voting for what I talk about on my podcast, and also what videos you want me to do here on YouTube. So make sure you go to patreon.com/AJTrip and become a patron. It's 3 tiers. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJ Trip signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.